My in-laws planned a surprise anniversary party. For my husband's ex, they were high school sweethearts. His mother smiled. We never got closure. I was told to take photos. When I refused, my husband said, "It's not a big deal. It's just for fun." I stood outside that night in the rain, listening to them laugh inside. 2 months later, I hosted a surprise of my own, with legal papers, a moving truck, and a farewell letter taped to the door. I'm 38 and just got out of a 6-year marriage with a man I thought I knew. We lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Not a big town, not a small one either. Just enough people to disappear in if you need to, which lately I've needed to. Craig and I met at the gym I managed. He was charming. I won't lie, he had that kind of golden boy look. Clean cut, funny. Always knew what to say to make people like him. I didn't fall for him right away, but he wore me down in a good way. Called when he said he would. Showed up with coffee after my long shifts. Met my friends and tried with my family. For the first time in a long time, I felt wanted. His family was another story. I met his mom, Patricia, 3 months in. She was polite on the surface, but something about her eyes always felt tight, like she was watching me too closely, trying to figure out if I'd measure up. Spoiler, I never did. From the first dinner at her place, she made little comments. Amanda used to help me with the dishes, or Amanda had the best laugh. Amanda was Craig's high school sweetheart. They dated from sophomore year until their junior year of college. Apparently, the whole family loved her. She went to church with them, helped at Thanksgiving, went on family vacations. She was basically a daughter to Patricia. I tried not to let it bother me. Everyone has a past, right? It wasn't Amanda I had a problem with, it was how nobody in that family ever let go of her. I'd say something about painting the guest room, and Patricia would say, "Amanda always liked that shade of green." I brought Craig's dad a pecan pie once, and he said, "Amanda's pecan pie was the best." Craig always brushed it off. "They're just nostalgic," he'd say. "It doesn't mean anything." So I pushed it down, like I did with a lot of things. Until that night. 2 months before our anniversary, Patricia called. Said she wanted to throw a little party. A surprise, she said. I figured it was for us. We'd been through a rough year. Craig lost his job for a few months. We had to dip into our savings and things got tense, but we were still standing. I thought maybe this was her way of softening toward me. She asked if I could bring my camera and show up early to help set up. I do part-time photography, nothing professional, just something I picked up years ago and stuck with. She said she wanted some nice shots to remember the night. When I walked into her house that evening, something felt off. First thing I saw was a big framed photo of Craig and Amanda on the entryway table. Then another on the fireplace mantel. Then one by the punch bowl. I froze. My heart started thudding like a drum. At first, I thought maybe they dug up old photos for a laugh. Then I saw the banner. Happy anniversary, Amanda and Craig, 20 years since prom. I stood there, completely still. Couldn't even feel the floor under me. Patricia came around the corner in some glittery sweater, beaming. "Oh, you made it. Doesn't everything look lovely? I thought you could take some nice pictures when Amanda gets here." I didn't say anything. My mouth was dry. 20 years, she said with this fake, wistful sigh. We never really got closure after they broke up. It's just a little something for fun. That's when Craig came into the room, laughing with someone. I looked past him, and there she was, Amanda. Blonde, petite, in a soft blue dress. She looked like she was born to be in that room, like she never left. Craig saw me and stopped laughing. Walked over, acting casual. "It's not a big deal," he said, like he was explaining a bad parking spot. "They just wanted to remember old times. Don't make it weird." I turned and looked him in the eye. "You let them throw an anniversary party for your ex," I said, my voice low and calm. "And you didn't think that was something you should warn your wife about?" He blinked. "It's not about that. It's just a joke. For fun." I walked out. Nobody stopped me. Outside, it had started to rain. Not a light drizzle, a downpour. I stood in it. I stood there and listened to the music through the walls. Laughter, glasses clinking. A voice that sounded like Amanda's singing along to some old song. I didn't cry. I just let the rain hit my face and thought, I'm the idiot. Craig didn't come home until after midnight. When he walked in, he was damp but not soaked, like he ran to the car but didn't care much. He didn't apologize. Just said I overreacted and went to bed. The next morning, I woke up with a plan. I spent the next 2 months moving quietly. I started with the lawyer, then the realtor. The house we lived in? It was mine before we got married. He moved into my place, and I never put his name on anything. I took photos of the party decorations the night it happened before I left. I printed out emails from Patricia asking me to come take professional shots for their sweet little surprise. I didn't plan to use them in court unless I had to, but I wanted proof. I wanted the truth recorded somewhere. Craig didn't notice anything. I smiled more. Slept next to him like nothing happened. I made dinner. I laughed at his dumb TV shows. Asked about his job. I gave him nothing to be suspicious of. Then on a Tuesday in April, I waited until he left for work. The moving truck arrived at 9 a.m. By noon, everything that was mine was gone. Furniture, clothes, pictures, kitchen stuff gone. Even the dog. He was mine, and I had the papers to prove it. I left one thing behind, a letter. 4 pages, handwritten. Taped to the front door. I'll tell you what it said next. Craig, by the time you read this, I'll be gone. Not just from the house, but from us. From this life I tried so hard to build with you. I gave you 6 years. I gave your family every chance. And you threw it all away for a damn prom party. You let your mother humiliate me. You stood next to your ex while your family clapped and laughed, pretending like I didn't exist. You told me to take pictures of a fake anniversary between you and another woman. Do you even hear yourself? This isn't just about that night. It's about every time you let her chip away at me, and you didn't say a word. Every time your mother brought up Amanda at dinner, and you sat there chewing like it was normal. Every time I asked for your support, and you told me I was too sensitive. Well, here's something real for you to feel. That was page 1. The rest of the letter laid out the facts. The divorce papers were filed 2 weeks ago. The court would be sending him the documents soon. He could contest it if he wanted, but there was nothing to win. The house was legally mine, and all his name was on was a cable bill. I told him I'd be staying with my sister in Kansas City for a while. Starting fresh. I already had a job lined up there, managing a small event space. Less drama, more pay. I didn't mention the friend who helped me move. The one who used to work with Craig at his old job. The one who told me Craig had been messaging Amanda for months before the party. Yeah. That came out later. The friend, John, texted me out of the blue a few weeks after the party. Said he didn't feel right keeping quiet anymore. Told me Craig and Amanda reconnected before Christmas. Said they had lunch a few times. Nothing physical, he claimed, but emotional stuff. Reminiscing. Talking about what could have been. He saw one message that said, "Sometimes I think I should have stayed with you." John didn't tell me sooner because Craig swore he was just venting. But after the party stunt, John couldn't ignore it. That night, I added a paragraph to my letter. Also, Craig, I know about the texts. I know about Amanda. Don't bother denying it. Don't even try to spin it. I saw enough. If you want her, go get her. She's yours now. Just don't come looking for me. I'm not her, and I never will be. I dropped the keys in the mailbox and drove away. A week later, Patricia called. Left a voicemail. Said she was shocked and hurt that I would do this to the family. She asked me to call her back so we could talk woman to woman. I saved that voicemail. I didn't return the call. But then something happened I didn't expect. Amanda reached out. I got an email. She found me on my photography website. Subject line said, "I owe you the truth." I stared at it for an hour before opening it. Her message was long, apologetic. She said she didn't know I was never told. She thought it was a joke at first. She said Patricia made it seem like it was just a casual gathering. She admitted she shouldn't have stayed when she saw the setup, but she was caught off guard and didn't want to make a scene. And then she dropped a bomb. She told me Craig had kissed her the night of the party. said she pulled away, told him he was married, and left not long after. But he kissed her. Right there in Patricia's living room, probably 5 minutes after I walked out into the rain. I had to sit down. I didn't cry. Not anymore. But I shook. Not out of sadness. Out of anger. Out of the sharp, hot kind of rage that comes when you realize how deep the betrayal really went. And that's when I knew I wasn't finished yet. Not by a long shot. Amanda's email lit something in me. Something sharp. Something final. I wrote her back, short and straight. Thanks for telling me. I believe you. He's all yours now. Good luck, you'll need it. I meant it too. Let her be the next one to watch Craig sit silent while his mother runs the show. Let her find out how quick he is to say, it's not a big deal, when your heart's falling apart. Let her live in the mess she didn't cause but helped keep going. But I wasn't done. Not with Patricia. Not yet. A week after the move, I mailed her something. Nothing hateful. Just facts. Inside the envelope, a glossy 8 by 10 print. It was from that night. Craig and Amanda, standing by the kitchen island. He was leaning in. She was pulling away. But anyone looking at it would see what he tried to do. I'd snapped at seconds before walking out. Out of habit, maybe. I was a photographer. My instinct had always been to capture the moment. That night I did. On the back of the photo, I wrote, next time you plan an anniversary party, maybe wait until he's divorced first. I mailed it with no return address. No name. Just sent it to her home with a second envelope inside, one marked, Craig. That one had copies of the lawyer letters, the finalized sale paperwork from the house, and a bill. That's right, I charged him for the couch. The one he spilled wine on 2 years ago and said he'd replace but never did. And the bedroom set I paid for outright. It wasn't about the money. It was the message. I was keeping everything, including my pride. A few days later, I got a message from an unknown number. Just 2 lines. You think you're clever? This isn't over. It had to be Patricia. Craig wouldn't use a burner phone. He barely knew how to update his contacts. I didn't respond, but I did screenshot it. Sent it to my lawyer. And that's when she told me something else. Apparently, Patricia had called her office. Pretended to be me. Asked for copies of all the filings. My lawyer's assistant didn't buy it. Patricia sounded too old and too nosy. But the attempt was recorded. And my lawyer told me if she tried anything like that again, we could pursue legal action. So I waited. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, Patricia showed up at my sister's job. My sister, Kelly, works at a small insurance office in Broken Arrow. She walked in around 3 p.m. on a Thursday, wearing a church dress and a fake smile. Said she wanted to talk to me privately. Kelly didn't even flinch. She told her, "You've got 5 seconds to leave, or I'm calling the cops." Patricia stood there frozen. Then Kelly added, "You don't scare anyone. You're just a bored woman with too much time and a son who cheats." She left. I wish I'd been there to see it. But honestly, hearing Kelly tell the story that night over tacos and wine was almost better. The next morning, I got an email from Amanda again. She wanted to meet. Face to face. She said she had something she needed to give me. I agreed to meet Amanda. We picked a diner off Route 66, the kind that still had jukeboxes at the booths and served watery coffee in chipped white mugs. I got there early, sat in the back. When she walked in, she looked tired. Not put together like before. No makeup. Puffy eyes. She slid into the booth across from me, set her purse down, and didn't say anything for a long moment. Then she pulled out a flash drive. "I thought you should have this," she said. "Craig doesn't know I made copies." I stared at it. "What is it?" Messages. From him. From Patricia. From both. After the party. And before. She started talking fast, like she needed to get it all out before she chickened out. Turns out, Craig and Patricia had been scheming long before the anniversary party. Patricia never accepted me. Fine, I already knew that. But what I didn't know was that she'd been encouraging Craig to test the waters with Amanda again. She told him maybe his marriage to me wasn't God's plan. She reminded him that Amanda had always fit better with their family. Craig never told her to stop. He leaned into it. Some of the messages were harmless, catching up, sharing memories. But others, they made my skin crawl. One from Patricia. If Amanda came back, I know you'd finally be happy again. That other woman is just in the way. Another from Craig. Sometimes I think about how different life would be if I never marry her. And the worst one. From Craig to Amanda, sent the night after the party. She'll calm down. She always does. Just give it a few days. Like I was a dog that needed cooling off. A little time out. He really thought I'd stay. Amanda looked up at me.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know how far it had gone. I thought it was just old feelings. But after that party, I saw it for what it really was. I took the flash drive. I didn't promise anything. I didn't threaten anything. I just said thank you. Then I went home.
Plugged it in.
And watched every word they had typed. I made copies. 3, in fact. 1 I kept. 1 I sent to my lawyer. And the 3rd? I dropped that off at Craig's new job. He had just started working at a community development office in Tulsa. I knew the building. I walked in like I belonged, smiled at the receptionist, and left the envelope marked urgent, for Craig's eyes only. Inside was a printout of his messages, Amanda's note explaining how he kissed her, and a short typed letter from me. You told me it was just for fun. I hope losing your job, your home, and the last shred of my respect was fun too. You always said you wanted a fresh start. Congratulations. Now you really have one. 2 days later, I heard he got suspended while HR reviewed the materials. His messages about God's plan, about Amanda being the real wife, and the photos from the party. Yeah, turns out not great for a guy whose job was to promote diversity and community respect. I don't know if he got fired. I didn't care enough to follow up. Patricia? She tried calling again. This time, I answered. Why are you doing this? She snapped. You've already left. Why can't you let it go? I said, calm and clear. You threw a party for the woman who kissed my husband. You let me walk out into the rain while you celebrated your fantasy family. You let me take pictures of your lies. And you think I'm the problem? She went quiet. I added one more thing. Tell Craig to stop sending emails. I don't want his apologies. I don't want his explanations. And I sure as hell don't want him. Then I blocked her number. I moved into a small place in Kansas City that summer. My sister helped me furnish it. Amanda and I never spoke again, not because I hated her, but because we didn't need to. She gave me what I needed. Closure. Not the kind Patricia wanted. Some sappy farewell party wrapped in old photos and fake smiles. Mine came with court papers, cold silence, and the satisfaction of watching a man lose everything he took for granted. Funny thing is, Craig always said I was too dramatic. Turns out, I was just patient. And very, very done.